We chose Bali because grilled is famous in Australia, a very proud Aussie brand. It's a lifestyle brand, and Bali is part of the Aussie lifestyle. And so we figured that it was a good place to come, A, because we've got a lot of the Australian tourists. They love us. We knew that we would have their backing, but it also is at the same time a good opportunity for an international gateway to so many places. I mean, there's tourists from everywhere over here.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Bali Insiders podcast. Hi, Carl.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Em.
We're back here in Lighthouse Studios today, and we're very excited to bring you our next guest on today's episode. We are chatting with Amy from Grilled, the famous Australian burger chain, and my absolute favourite, being a Melburnian. Love my mustard and pickle burgers.
So Grilled has chosen Bali as their location to open their first international restaurant. They're super famous in Australia already, and in the last few years they've opened in Bali, and we were really interested to hear about a business that's been super successful in another country and bringing it to Bali and replicating it here, and what the challenges were, what the reaction was like from both the tourists and the locals. And we thought it would be really interesting for you guys to hear. Maybe you have your own product or brand or restaurant that you've been thinking, oh, maybe we could open in Bali one day. If that's you, you're definitely going to want to hear what Amy has to say.
Okay, hi Amy.
Hi.
Welcome to the Bali Insiders podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Well, we're very excited to have you and chat all about Grilled. But before we get into that, we've got our Bali Fast 5 questions. So
I'm
you
ready.
ready to go?
I'm ready.
Prepared.
Okay. Prepared? Did you do your
Done.
homework? No. Kidding. So first question, when did you first visit Bali?
I would say it was about 20 years ago. I'm a Perth girl originally, so Bali has always been in that holiday list. So yeah, about 20 years ago.
Awesome. 20 years ago. I love it. What's your favourite area in Bali?
Oh, Seminyak, of course. No, probably Uluwatu, and down there, I just think that is stunning down there. So yeah.
Same. Fave. What's your favourite restaurant in Bali?
Oh, definitely Grilled.
That's a given.
Yeah, that's a given. I really can't say that. But if I was to spoil myself, probably Mama San is also right up there for me.
And what's your favourite local food?
Satay pork at Nia, in
Oh,
Seminyak.
yeah, I like
oh my
that
God,
warung.
it is the best.
I
Yeah.
love finding new warung
Oh.
that I haven't heard about. I love
She's
it.
great, and she
Yeah.
does cooking classes as well.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
Go
really
learn how to
great.
make it yourself, Em.
Yeah, so delicious.
And what do you love most about Bali?
That's an easy one. The people, absolutely, Balinese people, so beautiful.
Yeah.
100%.
Hard to match that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hard to match that anywhere in the
Yeah.
world, I
Yeah.
think. So, Amy, we've got you in today because we want to hear all about bringing what is a very famous Australian brand and recreating it here in Bali. That is definitely not as easy as that may sound to some. So we were hoping you can give us a little bit of an insight. So why Bali for the first location outside of Australia?
Sure. This is our first international, so yes, that's right. We chose Bali because Grilled is famous in Australia, a very proud Aussie brand. It's a lifestyle brand, and Bali is part of the Aussie lifestyle. And so we figured that it was a good place to come, A, because we've got a lot of the Australian tourists. They love us. We knew that we would have their backing, but it also is at the same time a good opportunity for an international gateway to so many places. I mean, there's tourists from everywhere over here, and we're already finding so much interest from places that we actually probably hadn't registered before. India, it keeps, since we've been here, keep asking. Singapore, Korea, and then lots of European tourists as well asking about us. So it's been exactly what we'd hoped, which was catering for the Aussie tourists, but also, being a gateway for us to
Getting
anything
some
else.
great feedback from
Great
to the
feedback.
rest of the
Yeah,
world.
and from people we weren't necessarily thinking, Jakartans loving it.
Yes.
So, we're pretty excited about that. It certainly hit the nail on the head of what we wanted to do. So, yeah.
Amazing. That's awesome. So I guess, opening in Bali an Australian brand, a Melbourne brand initially.
Yes.
My home.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about the journey of opening Grilled in
Sure.
Bali.
Yeah. Look, we've been looking at overseas for many years. And we've got 150 restaurants in Australia now. And it was definitely the time to come over. That was in 2019, though.
Oh.
So we found a location, a bit of a famous location, Grocer and Grind, who the owner of that place was ready to move on and do other opportunities. So we got really lucky and were able to take that over from her.
Prime location.
Great site.
Prime Seminyak site.
Yeah. And so 2019 was all about getting contracts and licensing and all of those things done, but then the build, because we pretty much had to knock down a lot of it. You know, there was a few structural things still there. Start again with that, build a new kitchen, all of those things. Then it was the journey of supply chain, which I can talk more about, and then they're hiring. And then we got open in December 2019, and we had 4 great months. And then a little thing called COVID shut it all down. So that shut us down, and I remember saying goodbye to the staff. I'll see you in 2 months. You know, it won't be long.
Just think of it as a little holiday.
Yeah, just a holiday. I'll be back soon. Don't worry, guys. And 2 years later, and we got back open in September this year, 2022.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been a longer journey than we had expected, but so it has for everyone else. So yeah, that's pretty much the timeline of the journey. Yeah.
Wow. So besides COVID, which was obviously a massive challenge, especially in the Seminyak area, it was definitely one of the hardest hits.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Besides that, what have been the other big challenges of recreating something that's so Aussie here in Bali?
And so well known.
Yes.
So
it's
people ingrained in
100%.
Yeah.
So we were probably thought it was going to be a little bit easier, but then of course you come over and you suddenly realise that you don't know anything. And the Bali hospitality community have been fantastic when I first got over here, in helping and sharing their knowledge and ideas and challenges. So, we learnt pretty quickly what we were up for, or so we thought. And then we also thought that the build might be quite easy, but that was the first third of what I like to think of that first year, which is crazy. The first third of it was learning how building works in Bali.
Yeah.
We had great designers and great builders, but it's so different to Australia. The way we build a restaurant in Australia is completely different. And the people that have responsibility for things in that process in Australia, it's different here. You might have a builder in Australia and they do everything.
Yeah.
We're over here and we're saying, where are we going to get kitchen equipment? They say, we don't know. That's up to you. So, I'm off
that one out.
Yeah. So learning very quickly on that. And then I think probably the biggest challenge, and still remains a challenge, is that we're replicating a brand, and it's all about the taste. It's also about our nutritional claims and the fact that we are famous for being able to cater for every food tribe.
Yeah.
So it's vegans, gluten-frees, nut allergies, soy allergies, whatever it might be.
You can give them a great meal.
Absolutely, and we can cater for them. And the problem was we came over thinking we would probably be able to import a little bit more of than we could. Yeah. And it's since come to fruition that, no, you can't do that, which is fine, because what we've then had to do is replicate everything over here. The taste, but again, nutritional becomes harder because they don't necessarily have items that are gluten-free or all those things that has made it a simple process. So the second third of the first year was all about supply chain and setting that up. And as I say, continues to be an issue. However, we've got some great partners now that have really come on board with us and will continue to grow with us. So that's good. And then I was kind of losing the will or the energy to get the next part, because people had said, the hiring of staff, it's tricky and it's, it can be challenging. And so I was really sort of facing that last third of that year going for the staff. And oh my God, it was amazing. It was not a challenge at all. The staff were incredible. We had great interviews. They were a team right from the beginning. They pick up things so well. The Balinese are hospitality professionals, and we found that fantastic, especially because we are a system. That's actually where the brand helped us, being a brand, because we were able to... You
already had those systems in
Yeah,
place.
we give them the process, they follow it.
Yeah.
And they take such great care in the allergies and the quality and all of those things that we are really proud of, and that I was nervous was going to be hard to replicate.
So the part you thought was going to be a
100%.
challenge was actually
100%.
one of the peaks.
Yeah, and I really had no energy left right before it. And as soon as we started getting the staff, I just fed off their energy, as I still do today. Like even in our busy times or our challenging times now, I don't have to worry about the staff. They're fantastic. They boost me up, and so look, that was what I thought was going to be a challenge, but it has turned out not to be a challenge. Yeah, which is great.
What about the running of Grilled itself here? It's there are things you've had to change.
That's right. So the thing even in Australia that we've always been is the local burger expert. Even from our first restaurant over in Hawthorn in Melbourne, we very much will adapt ourselves slightly to the location we're in or the community that we're in. So the food won't change, the ethos of our quality of our food and the allergies and food trucks, that doesn't change. But how or what do we need to do differently in that particular community? And in Bali, we came over and realised that our service model, for example, which is still ordering up at a point of sale and then sitting down and we look after you after that in Australia, doesn't cut it here in Bali. People are here for holidays. They don't want to have to do any work. They want to sit for a much longer time and they want to drink. So we very much introduced a fantastic bar, and I got a fantastic bar consultant to come and make Bali-inspired cocktails, which is just something we don't have in Bali. So we're very much a point of difference and almost a little bit more sophisticated in our restaurant in Bali than we are in any of the Australian restaurants. And that's because we wanted to adapt to Bali.
Bali Insiders podcast is proudly sponsored by Lighthouse Studios right here in Bali.
This space has been specifically designed for entrepreneurs, podcasters, coaches, and educators of all kinds. You can record podcasts just like ours, as well as masterclasses, social media content, and so much more.
They have awesome customizable studios to choose from. And most importantly, they take care of absolutely everything. The cameras, the microphones, the lights, even if you wish, the editing. They make it so easy.
And as well as the studios, they have a co-working cafe and some of the best food and coffee on the island of Bali. We highly recommend that you come in for a tour and have a chat about how you can create your own epic video and audio content.
You can visit them on Instagram at Lighthouse Studios Bali or jump on their website, wearelight.house. And I love that. I love that we can go and sit on the deck and have a burger
100%.
and have a cocktail.
I know, and it really does feel different. We, as I've said to you in the past, are like grilled fanatics. My husband and I, and it does have more of a restaurant feel.
And 100%.
While still feeling like you're in a grilled
That's
restaurant.
right.
Like it's all very thought out.
And I think we're also offering people for just coming and having drinks.
Yes.
Which has been great. That again was our desire when we decided to change things up a bit, and it's working. We've got people sitting on that deck on Friday afternoons watching the world go by, just trying all the cocktails, or sitting and having their bintang buckets. We've really become Bali and become a bit of a cornerstone in Seminyak for that. So it's been great. Yeah.
That's so good. Now, sometimes when we see international brands open in Bali, the tourists mostly, not the locals so much, but the tourists get somewhat protective and they say, no, we're never going to go there. We only want to support Bali businesses. What's your retort to that?
Yeah, sure. And we get that. We still get that ourselves in the restaurant. Look, when you open a business here, you are supporting all these Balinese staff. We have 50 Balinese staff and I have one expat, and we need that expat to communicate with the Australian office or Australian brand. And so we've got 50 staff that we adore and that are very much part of the Grilled family. We have local suppliers that, we have been able to grow with and support and share our recipes, and we know that if we grow, they'll grow. So they've become really important partners. So we're, helping them as well. Like in Australia, we have a Local Matters community program whereby each guest gets to pop a token into the jars, which is of 3 local charities, different each month. So that gives those local charities exposure. Not only do they get a monetary prize each month for whoever got the most votes, but they also get heaps of exposure to tourists and locals and internationals. I think that's the good thing about being in Bali. Everyone realises that when you come and live here, you do actually become part of the community because you are supporting the community. So we certainly feel that we're not an Australian brand, if you like, you're just making money for Australia. we're actually really supporting our team, and we want it to be busy so that our team have a successful job. And they see that. They totally understand it's about them. We do everything to make sure they're okay.
happy.
Yeah.
And something I really loved that you guys did during COVID when you weren't open is you opened up your kitchen to one of the charities.
Yeah, we did. So look, we paid our staff for a full year because I actually, I just couldn't bear the thought that they wouldn't be eating. We also thought it was going to be for 2 months, but we literally just kept going because it was for a year that we kept paying them just to make sure they're okay. And as part of that, they actually helped volunteer their time in our restaurant to the crisis kitchen. So during COVID, we were also able to give back, and that was the best way we could do it, is to use our facilities and our staff, and they loved that too. I mean, it kept them connected, but they were also helping. So yeah, it is part of being all about the community. We're not just a brand that's open for the benefit of us. We have definitely made sure that we're part of how we can help Bali.
And be part of it.
Totally be part of it. Yeah. We definitely feel like we're part of it. We're actually on Banjar land, and we're very close with our Banjar as well. So we're definitely part of that community.
Right in that Seminyak.
Yeah.
That Seminyak hub there.
That's right.
So you're in the Seminyak hub. You've got this beautiful restaurant. It's going amazingly. You've had a really great Christmas.
Great Christmas. Absolutely great.
What are the plans?
Yeah, sure. Look, we're still going to keep working on Seminyak and keep building that up. It's interesting, after COVID, I think you mentioned it before, Seminyak got hurt by COVID a lot.
Yeah.
And we've also noticed that the hub of Seminyak might have moved a little bit, but we're certainly seeing it come back. Over Christmas, it was crazy. It was so good. It was so good to be back and functioning. We still think there's room for 3, maybe 4 more locations in Bali. Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. So if anyone has any ideas of where they think we should come,
I
please let us know.
Canggu, Great Canggu, near my house.
What number? No.
Sanoa.
Yeah. So, and look, both of those are definitely, options.
Ulu.
So yes, there is definitely, we're here. We have done so much work on getting it all set up here that why wouldn't we?
Yeah, and I imagine then the 2nd, 3rd, 4th stores are so much easier.
So much easier. Yeah, totally. And you know what? Again, it helps those partners that we have, the suppliers, grow as well. That's how we did it in Australia back at the beginning. We partnered with suppliers and they've grown with us. So that's another way of supporting Bali.
As well. And I imagine the staff growing up through the ranks as well.
They're telling me every day where we should go.
I love that, your staff telling you where to go.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, true. Yeah. No, they would never do that. Professional. But I'm sure there's days they'd like to.
And how far are you into that process? Is there looking going on now?
Yes.
There
is 2 places that we're currently looking at, but still open to many more.
Yep. Yeah. Well, there you've heard it here. If you want to see grilled somewhere in Bali, drop the grilled Bali Instagram a little message.
Let us know. Yeah.
Let them know where. I'm definitely putting Sanoa in there because it's a long way to order the Grab over there.
That's right.
Send it over.
Yeah. Don't laugh. We get some people wanting it in Jakarta. We had a Gojek order once for someone wanting grilled in Jakarta, and we said, how's that going to work? And they said, we want you to deliver it to the airport and then someone will pick it up and put it on a plane and take it back to our family.
Well, that's commitment.
It was hilarious.
That's commitment to the burger.
It was hilarious. And of course our staff said, no problems.
Yeah.
I had to jump in and let's look at that.
But I think something interesting with you guys, and I didn't find out this until recently, is that you don't even have to order on the apps to get grilled delivered. You have your own delivery.
We do. We call it Bring It. And it basically, if you don't want to use Gojek or Grab, which I'm sure every tourist and restaurant has realised that over that peak period can be challenging while drivers decide to do other things, is that we have our own delivery. That's right. Yep. So you can go onto WhatsApp and you just message us on WhatsApp. Our full menu is on that WhatsApp app. But you can literally be talking to us just via message or ring, and then we can find out where you are and then work out how we can bring it to you.
Oh my gosh. Look out tonight. I'll be like,
and that helps.
Hey, Amy.
Yeah.
You're like, not my personal.
And you save a delivery fee on that
That's
too,
right?
right?
You save a delivery fee.
Yeah.
So we can bring it out for free.
Yeah.
We probably wouldn't bring it to Sanoa, sorry, Kelly. But
I'll meet you on Sunset.
That's almost as bad as the airport to Jakarta.
Oh, Jakarta. It was hilarious. Yeah.
I love that. So We've got Grilled in Bali. Is this a gateway to the rest of the world?
100%. Look, we probably were looking at the US or London as our next options, and we still are.
Yeah.
However, as I said, we've had so many interested parties from sort of Asia that it's definitely also an Asian market that we can be looking at.
Yeah.
So yes, it's not the last international, if you like. We actually think that the US might be a little bit easier than Bali, but it would definitely be another company restaurant to begin with, so that you can get you can work out the processes, and we couldn't do that to a franchisee at this stage and say, hey, here's the brand, off you go.
Yeah,
so
figure it out.
Hence why we're still a company restaurant in Bali too. But yeah, so look, US is probably our next major market. Yeah.
So what's your advice then if we've got people listening and they have an Australian or another international brand or product or restaurant that they're thinking, oh, I would like to set up in Bali, because we know that there's lots of people who said that. What's your advice to them?
Absolutely do your homework.
Yeah.
So, you really do need to think about what are the key parts of your business that you need to replicate, and how are you going to be able to do that. As I say, we probably underestimated the importing of things, and so we should have done some more on that to begin with, but we've managed to sort it. Connections. Always just go and talk to people, ask lots of questions.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled that it's easy, but it's doable. And so you just need to arm yourself with knowledge before you start the process. Don't wait until you already sunk your money into something and then find out that it's really tricky.
Yeah.
So definitely do your research.
Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of due diligence to be done there.
And like everyone would know, you two as well, you have to be ready for things to change. Nothing actually ever does go the way you think it will.
Yeah.
And even if you think you've got your head around the process, you probably haven't. And you think it's going to be quick, but it's not. And so, you have to be adaptable. And that's probably why it's been lucky that I've been here to do it, and we would never be able to get a franchise partner to do that at this stage. It has to be companies, so they can decide what is adaptable, what can we change, and
set up all those
systems,
relationships, and
100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gosh. I know there's a lot to think of bringing over here, but I think I had never thought about the market research aspect of setting up in Bali. And being able to expose your brand to all those different
markets
100%. And get the feedback.
And we're still learning that ourselves.
Yeah.
We never thought originally that without a lot of paid marketing or targeted marketing that Jakarta would be such a big draw for them. But over Christmas, we were half Jakartans. They loved it. And then they were going and spreading the word for us.
Yeah.
So that's been great. Indians were loving it, obviously with their vegan options and sort of the healthy aspects. They loved it. And we've already had franchise inquiries for Singapore and Korea.
Amazing.
So
I love that.
Yeah, so they're loving it. Yeah.
So Bali as the platform to the rest of the world.
That's right. And little old Bali is where we're doing it.
Yeah, on this tiny little island.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you can survive it here, you can
exactly. Yes, that's right. That's right.
I know. I think sometimes people are like, I'll go to Bali and I'll start a business. It's going to be so easy.
Well, I don't know if you know, but it's 143rd on the list of ease of doing business.
140. I love that you know that.
Only once I got here did I find that out.
Where is that list?
Oh, it's in the business world.
143rd.
Yes. So definitely the challenges.
Yeah, no, there is definitely challenges there. Well, we love that you've shared the Grilled story with us. Everybody should definitely get there. If you have not tried Grilled, maybe you're listening to us and you're not from Australia and you don't know Grilled, you definitely need to get there and try their burgers
and cocktails.
Amazing.
And the cocktails.
That's right.
Yes.
For all Aussies.
Yeah, for all the Aussies.
Don't think it's just your normal Grilled. It's very different.
No,
so please come and be spoiled.
Cocktails and bintangs galore.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we already know where to get the best burgers in Bali. We've got that tip sorted. But we like to wrap up every interview with what's your best Bali tip for would-be Bali visitors?
Sure. So personally, yes, it would be don't stick to one area.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I probably need to take my own advice on that, being that I'm working and living in Seminyak. is get out there. So if you're coming over as a tourist, make sure you do come to Seminyak.
Definitely.
And stay for quite a few days. But then always try and mix it up and go and stay in a new area maybe every time that you come, because Bali has so many different beautiful areas that we probably don't explore enough. And I need to do that as well. And I do try to do that, even if it's day trips, even if it's a day trip off to the islands or to go up and see the rice fields or whatever it might be. Just make sure you don't think that Bali is just Seminyak or Canggu or all of those busy places. It's not. Yeah. And there's new places every time.
Yeah. There you go.
Amazing.
Get out,
Great
explore a new area every trip.
That's right. That's what I figure.
Yeah. And if you live here, maybe like a new area every month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I find going and doing that reinvigorates your love for Bali.
Absolutely.
If you're here long term, sometimes it's the same. You get stuck in the rat race.
Absolutely.
Day to day, you go somewhere new and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Go to Cedarman, take in those.
That's right. Cedarman or absolutely.
Yeah. No, we're lucky to have that. Well, thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully you bought us some burgers in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Bring it.
My mustard.
Bring it. We'll get on the WhatsApp.
Bring it out. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thanks so much, guys.
We'll be back in store soon.
Yes, hopefully see you soon.
That was an awesome chat with Amy from Grilled, and I just hope that they find a site in Canggu very soon so that I can get my piping hot grilled burgers delivered.
I'll be pushing for Sanua. Like I think we need the burger joint there.
Definitely.
We hope you guys enjoyed that too and got something out of it. As always, our social channels are open for your questions and suggestions. If you're listening to this and haven't tuned into our YouTube yet, please come on over and give us a subscribe and check out our awesome set. See our faces.
You lucky things.
And of course, we'll be back to you very soon with another awesome episode of Bali Insiders. Bye.